From rendering errors to popping a Nova Bomb, here are 18 things in Destiny 2 that you might not know. Recently, Borealis, Hardlight, and Dead Messenger got an update to their Fundamentals perk, granting bonus stats depending on what flavor of Scorching Light you have equipped. This has me using Borealis more, and this is when I noticed a great but subtle detail about this gun. Did you know that Borealis changes its sound depending on what element you have equipped? We tried this with the other two tripolar weapons, but sadly nothing. I hope this ends up getting changed in the future because this is such a cool little detail that you will completely miss unless you're paying attention. Antea swords are, in my professional opinion, criminally underused, as this technique will also help to prove this point. Did you know that Antea sword's shield is technically a flat buff that gets applied to the Titan, granting immunity and a frontal reflection after sliding? Taking this a step further, with good timing and canceling that slide, you can use this window of invincibility with your thruster for 100% invincible thruster movement. It's a completely 100% safe approaching option. It's like freaking wave dashing from melee, and I'm in love. Kickstart mods won't work on abilities with double charges like Hunter Shurikens, right? You would never be able to trigger them because you always have another ability ready to go, and it starts to cool down before the animation finishes. Well, not quite. Bungie cleverly has injected a small window where the ability won't begin to regenerate, allowing you to still trigger kickstart mods if you're able to press them fast enough. Quicksilver Storm, currently only obtainable through pre-order, is getting a catalyst with Lightfall, as well as being available to all players with the expansion. This means that this exotic suddenly might get way better than it already is. And you're in luck if you're a Titan, because did you know that Actium War Rig, a long lost relic of Destiny 2 beta, will passively reload the grenades you earn in Quicksilver's alt fire? All you need to do is sprint cancel the reload animation, and presto, another warning shot round ready to go for better DPS. Here's a quick one you probably knew but didn't realize. Fusion rifles with the full auto setting are, well, full auto. This makes hitting optimal DPS with them far easier, and now, in particular, it makes the revving up Merciless both more fun and more lethal. Nova bombs are an unstoppable force that makes men fear death and turn to religion. Not even Chaos Reach or heavy weapons can stop this monstrosity, but hunters have a way. Whether by design or by coincidence, basically every hunter super in the game can easily counter a Nova Bomb. In particular, the worst PvP super in the game, fight me comment section, Gathering Storm, not only stops and pops the Nova Bomb, but it completely destroys all the Seekers as well. But it doesn't stop there. Tether will pierce right through, pop, and still function on the other side. Golden Gun is likely the best super because it's just one shot to pop the bubble, and you still have your shots for the other side. And of course, Arc Staff can just outright block it. Glaives are meant for the Vow of the Disciple raid. In particular, if you've ever played Babysitter to the Caretaker, you will know that his knockback stomp on those tiny bridges can be a death sentence. But you can negate this stomp completely by using your Glaive Shield before he stomps. It's an extremely powerful and extremely consistent tool, allowing you to stun and keep him in place much easier.
Holy shit, it works.
To my fellow Blinking Warlocks, this one is for you. Blinking pre-measures the path of travel. This is mostly meaningless, except for areas where there are low ceilings, such as like Endless Veil. If there are invisible physics that would normally push you away from the spot, blinking into them won't allow you to move at all. You can see this as I blink up here in the open air just fine, but when Bungie's trying to prevent some map breaking and I try to blink, no dice, I basically just make a nice little show of myself. Did you know that firing a grenade launcher disables your melee? It's an odd detail that I never really noticed, but if you look at your melee icon when firing a grenade launcher like Fighting Lion, your melee will be disabled for about half a second following each shot. I honestly have no solid theories as to why this is, so please feel free to leave your ideas in the comments below. I'm at a loss. If you've ever used a bow, you've probably never had to take into account travel time unless you did something like a short draw. But did you know that bows, technically, even when fully drawn, aren't hit scan? If you get out to a really, really long range, you can experience just a tad bit of delay between the release and the impact. Niche, but cool detail. I need your help with this one, as this one is more like a theory that's pretty hard to test without more people giving some input. Projectile-based weapons like Bose don't seem to be affected by airborne effective penalties. Yes, you still lose things like aim assist and bullet magnetism and so on and so forth, but even before the latest patch, back when airborne effectiveness was terrible, my bow did not stray from its path. Let me know if you have similar experiences in the comment section so I can confirm whether this is myth or fact. What's your favorite map? That's right, Disjunction. Well, how about a fun fact about this map that can give you more reasons to dislike this map? Take a look at the screen. Did you see it? If not, let me zoom in. Yeah, Disjunction has some odd pop-in renderings with these pillars. Besides my immersion being absolutely ruined, these also don't allow you to conceal yourself behind them, as any guardians that are behind them will stay fully rendered on the other side of them. Really odd detail, really not sure why this is this way. Did you know that there is an extremely subtle movement penalty on weapons that is different depending on the weapon you are using? For example, you can see the speed between a lightweight and a high impact is obviously different, but despite not having a lightweight bonus, weapons like sidearm strafe naturally just a little bit faster than others. It's not much, but it's worth knowing the next time you get into a gunfight. Did you know that weapon buffs like Empowering Rifts apply their buffs to weapons even after they've been shot? For example, if you were to fire a grenade launcher, then place an Empowering Rift, that grenade launcher shot will gain bonus damage. That means that you can still maximize damage output by firing your shot from around a corner, then popping back into the safety of cover and your rift, and still get optimal results. The entire length of a well of Radiance Blade can be damaged and thus destroyed. In an odd scenario where your opponent stabs their blade into a shallow ceiling, you can rather effectively ignore them and just start going to town and teach them this very lesson. If you are thinking that this is just a bit too niche to have any use, allow me to show you the clip that allowed me to figure out this fact. Thorn does weird stuff with Whisper of Rending crystals. It's inconsistent, but we were able to get Thorn to pierce through stasis crystals and cause poison on the other side. This could be extremely powerful with the right stasis build. Thank you, Technion, for showing us this one. Very cool, kill me. Trick to know about. If you are a newer Warlock, did you know that slamming your Well of Radiance actually causes a pretty hefty amount of Scorch? Slamming this down near an enemy will cause 40 to 60 Scorch, which followed by something like a grenade or a melee is a guaranteed ignition. Currently, interesting, good for PvE, but with bubbles getting nerfed next season, the Well of Radiance just became an S tier counter with this combo. Bow tracers and any other items that check for line of sight ignore Titan barricades. This also means that controller players will still have aim assist on Titans despite the proverbial line in the sand, and things like stasis turrets will still try to damage the Titan through them. Might be worth knowing if any line of sight mechanics are in Destiny's future. Subscribe and leave more things you don't know in the comment section or in our Discord. Bless your faces and deuces.